Came for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, I get it in, I get it in.
What's happening, people? Welcome to today's episode of The Flex, and it's my music special, man. Music is something that is proper close to my heart. It's something that's in me. It's something that will never leave, no matter how much I love football and do all the YouTube presenting stuff. You lot need to know that music is flex, innit? I live, breathe, eat, sleep, drink music. I DJ as well. Favorite genres, I've touched on it before in one of the earlier Flex, the Flex videos in a Q&A, which is basically, I come from a dancehall background, can't get away from that. Huge hip hop fan and massive old school garage fan. That's my main foundations of coming up in the DJ world. But there's been a lot of music, new music out there. And you know what? Since I've been in lockdown, I thought I'd be able to listen to loads more. But you know what? Because of all the journeys that I do to Manchester and around the country driving, I drive to every game. That's actually where I do most of my listening to. Josh and Mars will vouch for me. I listen to a lot of old school stuff. Once I get a bit bored of that, depending on the mood, I might listen to obviously all the new shit. Even from artists that I don't normally listen to. Because we're on such long drives, however the mood takes me, I just slap it on. And I want to talk about greatest of all time. Greatest of all time, because this is a conversation that, whether it's football, whether it's acting, whether it's musicians, whatever it is, the greatest of all time / GOAT conversation is always one that's up for debate. It's always one that sparks controversy. It's always one that not everyone can agree on, which is fine. That's why I like opinion. That's why I love doing what I do, even with football and in the YouTube space, is that no one's ever 100% right. It's however you view the information, or however, whatever your criteria is. And I want to talk about hip hop, the GOATs of hip hop. And most at the top of that list, not because I think he is the top of that list, but Drake. A lot of people say that Drake is nowhere near the GOAT, he's nowhere near top 5, or he's nowhere near this or that. Other people will tell you, are you dumb? Drake has to absolutely categorically be the best because of X, Y, Z. Forget Jay-Z, forget Nas, forget Biggie, forget Tupac, all of this stuff, yeah? This is how I see it, and I'll touch on Drake's project that he's just come out with. For me, what you've got to do if you're looking at your GOAT, yeah, no matter whether it's football or whatever else, yeah, but for me in music, I like longevity, I like consistency, innit? I really do. So that's like versus, say you've got someone who made one album that's a legendary album, say Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. We'll tell the Lauryn Hill fans, big album, start to finish, unbelievable, yeah? But if I said to you, name another banging Lauryn Hill album, I think most people would struggle. Unless you're a proper die-hard Lauryn Hill fan, which even if you are, I very much doubt that you can name me 5, 6 albums that she's done. I don't even know if she's done 5, 6 albums. So Miseducation of Lauryn Hill as a body of work is legendary.
Wait for it.
Legendary. But then if you say that Lauryn Hill's the GOAT, which is your opinion, that's fine, because you might make music that connected to you on that album. For me personally, I'm like, she's only had one good album. One good album. Now I know it can be connected differently than that. I get that, but it's just your criteria. Some people say that only MJ only had 2 good albums. His main album's Thriller and Off the Wall.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm Mr. Bennett. I'm Reggie.
Who that is, dog? Reggie! Who the fuck is Reggie?
What you want, nigga? This is Mike.
Can you fight?
Yeah.
You can fight? Oh, you motherfucker, you can't fight. Look at you. Look.
So maybe he's not legendary, but that's a whole different story, because the way he took over the world, the way he was the king of pop, the king of R&B, king of everything. He was the king. So that's a different argument. But body of work is important. How consistent are you with body of work? And for Drake, yeah, you can't lie on this guy, yeah. He has been solidly consistent for 10 years plus. From the mixtapes to Thank Me Later, right through up to now. He's been madly consistent. And the thing with Drake is, yeah, what I think people feel uncomfortable about, yeah, about talking about him as the GOAT, is this thing here. Because Drake, like, ticks so many boxes, I feel like hip-hop purists, yeah, because I do consider myself a bit of a hip-hop purist, but I do think outside that box, because I think of what a new age artist is now. But a hip-hop purist would consider Drake to not be a straight hip-hop artist. Do you get what I'm saying? A straight rapper. Which, to be fair, Drake isn't just one thing. He ticks so many boxes and so many different aliases. I think people like I said, hip hop purists are uncomfortable putting them in the same conversation as true hip hop greats who only stayed true to hip hop and only did hip hop. Whereas if you flip that, the ability to morph into different styles, stay relevant, is an art in itself, and that is greatness because it's consistent. Do you know what I'm saying? If you look at what Drake does, yeah, he might jump on the Afrobeats thing, so he's jumping on with Wizkid, you know what I mean, doing the Burna Boy thing, whatever, he's doing the African thing. Then he jumps on the UK tip, yeah, he's on Link Up TV or Behind Bars doing up drill, yeah, and then he's doing tunes with Skepta, then he's doing the UK rap thing, then he's with Gigs, so he's morphing. Then he's jumped on the Caribbean thing, yeah, then he's jumped on the Bashment dancehall thing, bringing in Popcorn and that, taking hold of that, making kind of Bashment tunes. You look at the tune One Dance and that, it's a Bashment rhythm, yeah, it come from my boy Flukes, which was a funky house tune. Kyla, shout out those guys, crazy cousins. But the remix of it is funky house, you know what I mean? Even Drake on what is it? That's Madiba Rhythm or Maliba Rhythm, whatever it is, on More Life, that album. That's a kind of dancehall calypso kind of feel. Comes from a dancehall place, so he's tapped into that. He even tapped into the flipping the African house thing when he done the remix with Black Coffee, yeah, of Superman. Same thing. So, and then he does the pop thing with, say, Rihanna or Ariana Grande or whatever. So Drake is in all of these subcategories, yeah? So I get it. It's like if you're a hip-hop purist, gangster shit, talking about straight up hip-hop bars in and that, you're gonna feel uncomfortable putting in a pop star, a superstar into that. But here's my thing is that, well, when he does the hip-hop thing, yeah, and turns up lyric for lyric with bars, he can do it. And I know you can say he doesn't write all his own music, but neither did MJ. A lot of like artists don't write all of their own music, which is fine. I don't really have a problem with that. Secondly, when he does the slow jam thing, the singing thing for the girls or whatever, not even just girls, man, them as well, it's fire. Like, whether you like it or not, it's fire. When he jumps on features, always fire. When he crosses over to the Bashment vibes and all that, it's fire. It's always fire. The only thing where I've kind of said Drake, maybe leave that alone, is when he's tried to do the drill thing. Like, for me, that was a little bit of a step too far. I get that he's embracing the culture, and you know, look what he done with Top Boy. He put money into that and kind of kept that going for us as a culture, which is great. Whether you think he's just jumping on trends to stay hot or not, it can only be a good thing for our culture. But when you see him culture jump, there was a point where I was like, wow, man, Drake's kind of like, I don't know if I rate him. He's just trying to jump on anything that's relevant. Remember when he had that tune with I Love McConan? Club going up on a Tuesday. Yeah, remember that? Where's I Love McConan now? Like, gone. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but that tune was the bangingest tune at that time. So Drake's excellent. Like, his strategy to making it is fantastic. Like, the way he manipulates the scene to suit him and jumps on trends, that's almost an art in itself. And this might be an art that you don't rate. It might be an art that you guys at home might be thinking, nah, do you know what? I don't really rate that. I prefer someone like a Jay-Z who just stays true to this. Maybe not even a Jay-Z, because Jay-Z's gone off and done rock and stuff like that. Man, working with Limp Bizkit and that. Do you know what I'm saying? So Jay-Z's done it and changed and done different things. Maybe someone like Nas then, like hip-hop purists, only ever stay true to doing the hip-hop thing. Some people may like that, but I'm saying, look, if from a battle point of view, again, it comes down to your criteria. If you lock Drake in a room, yeah, with battling with someone, the question is, would Drake survive? If you lock Drake and say, I don't know, Nas in a room, yeah, I said bars it out, just one mic, 1 for 1, no beat, just a cappella, just go for it.
No!
Relax, kid. I've got this.
Kiki.
You could argue that Drake might not come out the room alive. But it's the same way if you locked him in there with Papoose, he'd eat your head off. If you locked him in there with Cassidy, these are real bars, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So it depends. But they're men who have either decided, for whatever reason, whether they've decided not to go down that road or they tried to but couldn't. These are guys that like can't see Drake's numbers. They can't, because Drake, yeah, don't get me wrong, is a pop star, but I think it's a bit, I think it's disrespectful to disrespect Drake on the hip hop front, because he can make thoroughbred hip hop. He came up on Weezy, man, and Young Money and that. Do you know what I'm saying? Weezy's his school is cultured, where Drake's coming from. I do think the earlier Drake was better, 100%. But the way he's morphed and the level of consistency, you look at the bodies of work that man's put out, yeah? Take Care, Thank Me Later. If you're reading this, it's too late. What's the one where he's got his head in the clouds? It's a picture of him with the blue background. One that Pound Cake was on anyway. Can't remember the name of the album. There's that album. Obviously, I thought More Life was a good album. Not a lot of people did. You got Scorpion, that was last year. You got the Drake Lane one now, which was a bit more of a mixtape. He's had bare banging albums. And it's not until you look back and think, oh, do you know what? Even if you think like you won't listen to that album from 1 to 15 because you're not a Drake fan guy like that, boy, I just think, boy, you know what? You got to give credit where credit's due. To have that level of consistency, I'm saying you got to be in a conversation. Drake has to be in the conversation as greatest of all time. Definitely greatest of our generation, which I say my generation. I'm 32, so in my generation, he's up there. No one else has put up them numbers. Do I think he's the best lyricist? Or again, when you break it into subcategories, is he the best out of, say, Pusha T, Fabulous, J. Cole? J. Cole's in there. Kendrick, like, even, you know what I'm saying, man like that, like, lyrically, you could argue that he's not as good as these guys. Even Ludacris in his prime, like, Ludacris was immense bars, man. If you think of Biggie in his prime, obviously they didn't have that long because of, obviously they were killed. But Tupac in his prime, Tupac was like a poet. Like, I'm a Biggie over Tupac fan for sure. I'm a Biggie over Tupac fan, only because I like his bodies of work more. I like the fact that he's got the club bangers. I like the fact that he can switch it up for the girls, and I just vibes more with Biggie. But that's not taking anything away from Tupac. Tupac lyrically, you could argue that Biggie can't see him. The way that he articulated himself, the way that he constructed his lyrics, like I said, Tupac was almost like an urban poet. Do you know what I'm saying? Before like urban poetry started becoming prominent, now Tupac would have been doing that. So yeah, you know, Nas, Jay-Z, all of these old school rappers like that, and then even like further back than that, KRS-One and even LL Cool J in his prime, and just like there's so many, you know, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, like proper artists. Do you know what I'm saying? Big Boy, Mobb Deep, like that's one of my favorite albums. You're talking about my top 5 albums, you know, that little Bill Clinton thing we had to do on social media. We're talking top 5 albums. I'm saying Mobb Deep's in it for me. Infamous album. Do you know what I mean? It really is. So you're talking about true greats, true greats. So for me, to sum it up, I'm saying that he's got to be in the conversation. I think to even say he's not in a, like some of the new cats I was talking to you, I call them new cats. I sound so old. I sound like one of them old school granddads, isn't it? Like, oh, these new cats, man, these new cats don't know that. That's not what I'm trying to say. But guys that are younger than me, that are friends of mine, I was saying like, who's your GOAT? And this shows you that it's all about generations. Man was telling me Lil Baby. I said, what? Lil Baby? Man was saying Gunna. What? Like, these guys, like, look, I love music, innit? So I've evolved with how music's gone, but I've never lost track of what it was and how strong it was back in the day, and how music shifted from lyrical emphasis where literally the beat don't change. If you're thinking of old school hip hop, old school rap, yeah, the beat would very rarely like change in pitch, in tone, or like halfway through or in a chorus. It wouldn't really change. You couldn't, basically you had to ride the rhythm. The rhythm was very basic. You had to ride the beat. Do you know what I'm saying? Quick little boom bap beat. That's what it is the whole way through. There ain't no wicked special effects coming through. There ain't no 808s coming through. Do you know what I'm saying? There ain't no flipping auto-tune and all that. You just got to ride rhythm in it. You have to have bars. But now you're getting songs where you could, if I asked you to recite me like a Future lyric, like a patch of chunk of his song where he's vibes and he's making absolute sense, you couldn't do it. It's mumble rap. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a whole different thing. It's a whole different wave. And I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying that can't be compared to what hip hop really was if you know your shit, innit? Like, so when someone's telling me that Future is the greatest of all time and shit like that, yeah, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Tory Lanez I rate massively. I think he is like a subpar version of Drake. Like Tory Lanez is sick. He can do the singing thing. He can do the old school R&B like with the Chicks tape. Then he can switch it up and do the new Toronto, where he's just going in. I've seen him do Hot 97 freestyles where man can bar. Pusha T, big fan of him from the Clips days. He can bar, like he can war. You saw what he done with Drake. I thought he won that clash personally. Meek Mill's another one. Bars. He's a hype man because he's normally quite loud and eccentric with his bars, but he can spit. But then you look at someone like French Montana, got loads of bangers, loads of club bangers. I saw even on the internet people were saying about French Montana against Kendrick Lamar, and it's like Kendrick's an absolute bars man. But how much does Kendrick come on in the club? Maybe 2, 3, maybe 5 songs, straight up bangers, depending on what type of rave it is. Yeah, he can play songs off Good Kid, Mad City, but I'm talking about jumping off, going off for the youngsters then. French Montana's got bare, but he's more of a features man. For me, French Montana by himself is shit. I don't really listen to him. When his album comes out, I don't check for it. So there's loads of if, buts and maybes, but yeah, I just wanted to share with you some of my musical things. And we're gonna do some comparisons in some of my music stuff that we're gonna be doing on this channel. We're gonna be talking loads about comparing different artists, different genres, and stuff like that. So drop in the comments below who your GOAT is. Who's your hit greatest of all time? I find it really hard to choose. I still think Jay-Z / Biggie. I can't really separate them because I'm a huge Biggie fan, and Jay-Z is probably my #1. But yeah, but Drake, I'm saying, is in the conversation. I'm not saying he's top 2 or top 3, but he's got to be in the top 5. Or certainly in top 10 of all time for me. Let me know if you think I'm talking absolute trash or whether you lot agree with me. Smash a like on the video and make sure you get subscribing. I am out of it. Oh, actually, and remember, check out the Flex UTD Instagram pages, yeah? Every Friday, 7 o'clock. Sometimes the time might change, but every Friday evening, all the people that I'm talking about will be in there in terms of artist-wise, yeah? If they don't lock me off for the copyright thing, yeah? So join me then. I'm out of it. Peace.